So today we're going to talk about a subject of database rollback. So BOLT introduces a new feature which did not exist in the existing product, and that is database rollback. So first, I think I want to discuss a little bit about what the database architecture is. It's changed from the way that it used to be, where everything was always persistent. And now we have a little bit closer to what many switches have, where you have a candidate database and a running database. Now, in some systems, what you have is you have a running database, which is non-volatile, and a startup database, which is persistent. But this is a little bit different, where you have the candidate database, which is not persistent. So it's just the changes that you have entered. And then when you commit a series of changes, those changes are stored persistent in the running database and also applied to the hardware. So, once you commit a set of changes, you never have to worry about, did I save them to the startup database, because the running database is persistent. So that's a little bit different than what you may have encountered on other switches. But it ensures that you don't lose any changes. And one of the other nice things about this, which we did not have in the past, is you can store up a big list of changes and commit them all at once. So rather than, you know, uh, a change and commit and change and commit and change commit, you can actually build up a whole series of changes and then commit them all in one fell swoop. So if you do need to make some big changes across the network, this is one way to do it that, um, all the changes take place pretty much, very close together. So now we're going to look at the OLT, and we'll look at the actual architecture of the databases, and we'll also look at some examples of database rollback. Okay, so now we're sitting in front of the OLT console for BOLT, and what we're going to do is we're going to explore some of those concepts we just talked about. So first, the running database, we're going to say show running config, and then first we'll give it with no parameters, and it's going to show the entire configuration for the whole system. As you might imagine, with up to 8,000 ports, that could be quite long. So you may want to filter it. So perhaps we might say show running config tolt system DNS. So we could show the current DNS config. And you can see there that we have a couple of DNS servers configured, a default domain list, which is good. And then we'll say show running config tolt system NTP. And so we can see that we also have an NTP, a couple of NTP entries that are pointing to the NIST servers. So that's great. So now, that shows you the running config database. Let's go into config mode, and let's make some changes. So what we're going to do is we're going to say no tolt system NTP and enter. And so everything from the NTP node down will actually get deleted. Some data may come back if there's default config for some attributes underneath there. But we can also say show configuration, and we can see that there's the list of changes which are queued up in the candidate database. So now we're going to commit those changes. So now we no longer have any of our NTP config. And so let's do another change. We'll say no tolt system and DNS. And so we'll delete all our DNS entries. And we'll say show configuration. And we can see there's the list of changes that effectively that command ended up doing. And then this time, instead of saying commit, what we'll do is we'll try to exit config mode, and we'll be reminded, hey, there are uncommitted changes for those DNS entries that we just deleted. And so we probably want to commit those changes. I have three options. I can answer yes, and it will commit those changes, no, and it will not commit those changes, but they'll be left in the candidate database, or I can say cancel, and it will cancel all those changes that are in the database. I'm going to say yes because I do want to make those changes. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the rollbacks. So I can say show configuration rollback. Oh, sorry. And I need to say changes. So I can see the rollback changes in the last entry, or I can ask it about a particular set of changes. And as you can see, every single set of changes that has been made since the beginning is held out there. We only delete it when you reset it to factory defaults. At some point, I'm sure we'll put in a limit. As of right now, there's no limit on the commit, so you can roll it back pretty much to the beginning if you so choose. And these are numbered, you know, in terms of the number of commits ago. So let's make some rollbacks. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into config. Whenever we do a rollback, we're actually changing the database. And to make any changes to the database, we always have to be in config mode. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say rollback. And we can say configuration, and we can say configuration 0. So now if we say show configuration, we can see that the DNS entries are now in the database. So we've actually rolled back to configuration 0. So let's do this. Let's say roll back. How to type it right? Roll back configuration. And then this time, instead of saying rollback configuration 0, let's say rollback configuration 1. And then we'll say show configuration. So now this shows us the list of changes that are sitting in our candidate database, which is the DNS entries and also the NTP entries. And we can continue doing this, you know, further and further back. But now, since those are in the candidate database, we can now just commit them. And now I am back to where I started before I did all those deletes. So you can see how this can be very, very handy. Like if you make a mistake, let's say you deleted a profile that you had put a lot of data in and you're like, oh shoot, I did not mean to delete that. You can easily bring it back. And that's true of any and all your config. And you'll see that the restores of those configuration elements, since it's just doing the deltas, happen really quite quickly. And, you know, so it's a really great set of commands for you to know and a great way to manage the system. So just thought you might appreciate learning a little bit more about some of the new features of BOLT. And we'll continue with this series of videos, bringing you more of the new features coming in with BOLT.